They don't want to have me to rest. But you know what? You know what? The spirit in me, the Biafra spirit in me, I said, when I told you, if Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is looking for 100 people, I promise that I have 50 in me. You have not seen anything. It is not by my power. It is not by my power. It is not by my power. But, you know, as my own oru, I am a rocha. You understand? Till Biafra come. But today you are going to receive sense. The crypto, Nigeria crypto. As they are crippling your economy, they close border. They closed the border. ESN came out automatically, you know, weaponized. It shocked them. It shocked them. They said, this border no work. Oh. This close of border no work. Oh. Now, how do we stop the funding now of this Sunday or Igbo? How do we stop the contribution? Let us stop the crypto. Because they were following Nigerians, southern Nigerians. Use crypto. We should open crypto. We use crypto. Don't use the Western Union. Don't use this. They say, so these people are doing crypto. Okay, let us slash them. Bah! They are not considering the economic impact of crypto. No. They are not considering how much the crypto is bringing to Nigeria economy. Their agenda is not to make Nigeria progress. No. They have a better agenda. Now you get the point. Now you get the point. My only problem is that why is it that you must wait? Was Thomas born in Nigeria? Is Thomas a Nigerian? Is Thomas in the Bible in Nigeria? Are you a lineage of Thomas? Are you a lineage of Thomas? All of you have Thomas blood in your vein. How did you get Thomas blood in your vein? That it must happen to you first before you understand. We hear more in Anubia. You hear more kind of woo. When we are telling you, you don't know no. We are telling you, even we are not prophets, but everything we have said, everything we open this mouth to say, if it don't happen today, it will happen tomorrow. I want you to go from the beginning of this struggle, from the beginning. In fact, even the one that we are not sure of, once God asks us to say it, we will say it and God will do it. Hey! I said, did you see the prayer? May God harden the heart of the leaders in Nigeria so that we will tell them, the world may know that Obi is no longer a boy. I remember when we used to read the history of the Greeks, the Greek god. I don't know, you know, of course you don't read all those things in Africa. The history of the... I want you people to understand that the liberation of Biafra has entered the highest stage in the history of Biafra. Not even during the war. I am telling you, it has entered the highest stage ever. And we are going to do everything humanly possible in this life to restore Biafra. Everything humanly possible will be done. And I want you people to understand that the Biafra liberation is step by step, segment by segment, plan by plan, executions by execution. We'll be executing those plans according to the template till the last one. And Biafra.
Let us go talk about the objective of your struggle and how do you intend to achieve it in practical terms?
In practical terms, it is civil disobedience. The same way that Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. accomplished civil rights in America, the same way that Mahatma Gandhi led India to independence out of British colonial rule, the same principles we are applying, and might I add, very successfully too. We will do everything possible to unravel and unshackle the zoo called Nigeria. Everything humanly possible. No stone will be left unturned. We will sacrifice everything sacrificable. Material, life, blood will throw into.
And we will do everything humanly possible to see the Biafra.
And that I have a firm conviction.
Onye si na agata anya ahụhụ ma ọ bụ na gị fe arụsị anyị wee na-efe arụsị mgbe were iwe gị na ọmụma gị wee bịarịta anyị ụmụ anyị wee na-anwụsị ụfọdụ nọ n'ụzọ ije ha anaghị alọta ụlọ ọzọ nne na nna wee na-ata ahụhụ wee na-ata ikikere eze nwaanyị kunye ka ọ gaa ubi gaa rụọ ọrụ Fulani chiri ehi bata ebe ala gị n'iyi okwu ebepụ ya isi anyị bụ ka anyị kpọpụ onye nwe anyị n'ugwu Awụsa ahụ ejide anyị wee gbuo ihe ọ bụ anyị mara aka n'ime ha si maka ha aga n'ihu elekwa ọdụ ụgbọ mmiri n'igwe ọcha bụ ememiri ọhịa nke dị na Kalaba otu aka ahụ anyị na-ala nsọ ebe Biafra ndị kọstọm sokonye anyị n'etiti anyị anọghị n'ime mmiri kama kọstọm jiri ebe niile ha wee na-ata anyị ahụhụ anyị kwuo ekosịpụta anyị ka kpọchie anyị kwuo ekosịpụta anyị ka gbagbuo anyị onye nwe anyị na Chineke na nke bi n'igwe ọ bụ ụzọ dị anya ka isi wepụ ndị iro anyị anya wee karịa ndị nke gị akwa anyị bụ ụmụ Chineke akwa ọba aha anyị ka anyị na-aza akwa ọba anyị nwe na-aza ike Chukwu akwa ọba anyị nwe na-aza amara Chineke akwa ọba anyị nwe na-aza Chisom akwa ọba anyị nwe na-aza Chizoba nna nke dị nsọ onye ime eluigwe dịka otu onye iro dị na anyị bụ ụmụ gị bịa ka iwe zọpụta anyị bịa ka iwe napụta anyị n'aka ọjọọ ihe bịa ka iwe lụọrọ anyị ọgụ bịa ka iwe dịtụ ozu ọ bụ ọkọwa mgbe emilere Goliath Chineke nna nke igwe ruo ememiri Fero sikwa otu a mee ka Fero ka ọ guzo n'ihu ụmụ ndị anyị bịobi ka o wee taa akọkwa igiri ụtọ ọzọ ị ga na-edu anyị n'ụzọ niile nke ezi omume ọ bụla adịghị na anyị na-aga ndagwurugwu onyinye ọnwụ ọ bụbụ nwa bụ ekerere n'igwe n'ụwa nwunye ọbụla kere gị n'oge malite n'oge ọgwụgwụ kama anyị onwe anyị kwa anọkwa ahụ ofu ụbọchị anyị ga-anwụ n'ezie kama ma akpọ na ogbu gị na nọgide ego mgbe ebighị ebi ọ bụ ya mere anyị ji were gị n'anya isi anyị wee na-asị nna nke dị nsọ bịa ka iwe gosi anyị Biafra na ndụ na-abụghị n'ọnwụ bịa ka iwe mee ka ebe gị na amara gị wee kpuchiri anyị ka uwe bịa ka iwe zọpụta ndị nke gị bịa ka iwe mee ka Biafra wee bịa ka anyị na-ewetụta na nsọpụrụ na ịja mma site n'aha gị onye bụ Chukwu nke abịa ma
Welcome. Thank you for joining us wherever you are joining from. Please like and share the program. We have come again this evening to continue to create awareness to the whole world, create awareness and reach out to people. Try as much as possible to bring someone along with you to get this information out. We must continue to call on the international communities to correct the lies they are telling against the Biafrans. And we will continue to expose the propaganda, more especially the latest propaganda in town, called the Igbo Muslim community and the Fulani Christian community. This is a line from the pit of hell. If you have not watched our morning program, go and watch our morning program and you will get the detail of this information. We spoke a whole lot about it in the morning, and we will continue to speak about it in every time we have the opportunity. There is nothing called the Igbo Muslim community. It doesn't exist. And there's nothing called the Fulani Christian community. This is just a propaganda created by the caliphate to deceive the world on the genocide that is going on in Nigeria. They want to use it to change the narrative. They want to use it to distract the world. They want to use it to make sure that the world do not pay attention to what is going on. But we will continue to follow them closer, closer, and closer. There is no evidence anywhere that there is something called Igbo Muslim community. We know that the Biafran people, the Igbo people are all Christians and traditionalists. They are Christians and traditionalists, and some Jewish among them, those who practice Judaism. Few of them, even those that practice Judaism, these are Christians. Most of them, the majority of them were Christian. So what you have in Biafra land is Judeo-Christian. In Igbo land, Judeo-Christian society is what you have, are the traditionalists. A Judeo-Christian society, that is what you have. There is nothing like Islam in Igbo land. There is nothing. Anybody that you see getting himself involved in now is doing it for his own personal and selfish interests. And they have nothing like called a community. Nobody cares about them. Nobody gives a hoot about it. In our culture, you are free to practice whatever you want to practice. That does not take away our culture and who we are. And because this religion called Islam is only ready to obliterate your entire religion completely and you become Arabic, that is the only thing it does. It will take away everything that made you whom you are. And in such kind of situation, you cannot get an Igbo man in such kind of religion. It doesn't work with us. It doesn't go along with us. Christianity is having a stronghold in Biafra land because it is spirituality, individually, people on their own discovering their God. That is what Christianity is about, and that is exactly what our traditional religions are about. Our traditional spirituality is. Biafrans are spiritual people. They discover God for themselves, and we are all kings and princes. Just like the Bible said that we are gods. So we don't worship any other person or any other individual except the Almighty God living in heaven. So anybody that comes to tell you there is something called Igbo Muslim community, it does not exist. Whoever is trying to create this is a political creation to distract what is happening in that country called Nigeria. And have you not asked yourself, why is it that all of a sudden today, this is what is trending online? Igbo Muslim community, Igbo Muslim community. Why all of a sudden? It is because they want to change the narrative. And we must not allow them to change the narrative. We must not. Do not allow them. No matter what happens, you must not allow them. Because this battle is a battle that we have won already, and we cannot go back on it. So wherever you are watching this program from today, use your own platform to share. Use your own mouth to speak to people. Tell people around you. Confess that you have nothing to do with any other religion in Biafra land except Christianity, traditional religion, and Judaism. That is the only thing we have. Every other thing you see there is counterfeit. Some of them are those who are paid because of their belly, greed for money. They decided to join those so-called religion, and they are claiming to have a community. There is nothing like that in Biafra land. In Igbo land mainly, there is nothing like that. There is nothing like that. Igbos are Judeo-Christian, completely. That is who we are, Judeo-Christian, and some traditionalists. Anything short of that, it is not Igbo. It is a propaganda and blackmail, and we must not allow it to fly. A lot is happening as we speak. So many things are happening, and as we speak, Iran is taken over. Iranian people are protesting, and I bet you the Iranian regime is falling. the Iranian regime is falling. As we speak, the street has been taken over by the people, and from the way things are going, the regime of Iran is falling. That is what happens when you challenge the order of Chukwu Kabiam. That is what happens when you feel that you can challenge the order of Chukwu Kabiam. Today, with what we are seeing that is happening in Iran, that nation has fallen. What you are watching is Iran. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. The Iranian people have taken over their country. The Iranians have taken over. They say they are tired of their so-called caliphate. And this is what the Nigerian people are trying to bring. They think that other Islamic countries are rejected. That is what they are collecting. This, what you're watching, is Iran. Iranian people are on the street. They have taken over their place. They say they no longer want Islamic caliphate. You can imagine people running away from this. But in Nigeria, this is what they're trying to establish. And I find it difficult to understand why some of them will even run to the West. They go to the West, they live there, they enjoy the things there, and they try to force the same thing they are running away from. They try to enforce it in other parts of the world. It is sad. But this is the situation. These are what we are talking about. Some of the things that Mazi Nanikara has spoken about. And today, the new world order is taking shape fully. This is the appointed time. Chukwu Kabiam by himself establishes appointed time, and there is nothing anybody can do to change it. You cannot change it. You cannot change it. The only thing you can do is to key into the time that we are in. If you key into the time, you can enjoy the fruit of the labor. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was fighting this battle. Fighting the battle to prepare us for what is happening today in the whole world. And they kidnap him. They sentence him without a law in that same zoological republic. And today, some of you are forgetting Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. So many of you, how many times do you talk about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu? How many times do you preach him? How many times do you ask for his release? So many of us have gone back to our businesses and we've forgotten him. We must not forget our spirit leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. We must continue to ask Omotosho, show us the law under which you convicted Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. The illegal conviction of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will not be accepted, can never be accepted, and it is unforgivable. We cannot allow them to distract us from that fact. So today, I'm going to share with you one of the interviews that was mentioned recently, and let us listen and hear what this man has to say on this very interview. Because it is important that we must not allow the voice of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to be silenced.
The judgment of Justice Omotosho. And I had made my position very clear that I was not persuaded with what was going on in court, and that I have a firm conviction that Nnamdi Kanu did not do anything. There's no way you can try somebody, convict him for statements he made outside the country. He wasn't here. There was no evidence that he carried on and killed anybody. There was no evidence that he was involved in massive killings as well. And my position is predicated upon the fact that there are people in this country that have killed men, raped men, women, and children. And we are associating with them. We are discussing with them. In fact, we are having coffee with them. What is left is to sow a sheep them in the name of negotiation. So what the Nnamdi Kanu do that is what makes it different. And that's why it says Nnamdi Kanu is being persecuted because of his circumstances of birth. And that was an issue which President Muhammad Buhari started. I have made it very clear, even I've spoken to Simon many times, that President Muhammad Buhari never liked the woman, and he didn't pretend about it. He had what I called ancient hatred against the tribe and his people. And he showed it. In fact, he summarized it with the saying of the dot in a circle. That dot is in a circle is the engine room of this country's economy. Look, we are on holiday for 1 week now. I'm sure you drove to come here. Go to Lagos. Lagos is shut down. Nobody's on the streets. I've gone to their doors within the circle. Vito Abuja. So you cannot single a tribe, and I'm not saying so because I'm evil. A proud one for that matter. But I hate tribalism. I hate things based on religion and tribe. There is no reason why we should hate a fellow citizen because of the circumstances of life. None can do not do anything. He didn't do any of those. Look at somebody like Kumi. The Diri government know all the stupid utterances Kumi has been making. In fact, he said we should put them in our budget. We should pacify them. We should pay them salaries. There's no way it can stop. The government through Buhari saw all this because of his expansionist agenda. Buhari wanted to Islamize the country. Let nobody pretend about it. And the first thing he did was to disarm citizens. Whether you had a day gun or they were disarmed. Immediately that was done 1 week after the terrorists moved across the country. Thank God for Trump. Any Nigerian, man or woman, old or young, opposed to what Trump is doing as regards the terrorists, is a terrorist himself. Any Nigerian, man or woman, young or old, that would oppose to the coming of Benjamin Netanyahu to assist Trump in clearing the terrorists is himself and his household terrorists. We have seen it in this country. We are handicapped. We cannot do anything. And then some people are talking about sovereignty. Sovereignty, my foot. If you are talking about sovereignty and people are being slaughtered in their hundreds, in their thousands every day, better to suspend that sovereignty. Let those that will help you come and help you. As Trump is helping now. They did it along the axis last week. I read the capital today, last night. Let him continue and clean the place up. So that we can see that Nnamdi Kanu is not a terrorist. Nnamdi Kanu was handed over to by Muhammad Buhari as one of his handed over those. But what we are saying is, Tinubu did not beat Nnamdi Kanu. He inherited the problem. All we are asking is, you must have the political will to set him free. I must tell you that over 80% of reasonable Nigerians across the country are not happy with the Nnamdi Kanu being a president. Because they could see that it is man's humanity. It is clear that it is that hatred against the people from that part of the country. It is not that he did anything. No evidence. Okay, let me even take you. And the judiciary was available to give credit to that. Nnamdi Kanu said, show me the law. Show me the law you are trying me. He asked that question more than 10 times in different trials. Justice Omotosho ignored him. Justice Omotosho forgot that Nnamdi Kanu is not a lawyer. A lawyer wouldn't have asked those questions. Forget about the books he was carrying. The first point that he is not a lawyer. And he elected to defend himself based on his constitutional right, which says that an accused person can take the services of a lawyer or defend himself. He decided to use it. Why didn't you say, Mr. Nandikano, these are the laws, session, this session, this session? You could not answer him. You forgot he's not a lawyer. I am not approving of the violence and the comments coming from the way he reacted. But any innocent man being terrorized through the judiciary can behave worse than Nandikano. Yes, as a lawyer, I'm seeing that calm down, calm down. But this is a man who knew he did nothing. And Nigerians knew that he had done nothing. With greatest respect, Justice Omotoso was a pawn. He was an instrument to be used to judge. While we are the other judges reluctant in trying Nandikano, they were pushing the adjournment. Because they have seen it. Even after Supreme Court has said that he's running away from the house, which they said the adjournment was legitimate. Over 20-something people were killed in his house. He lost his father. He lost his children. Whoever we say that Nandikano, for those saying that he should be hanged, let it be your portion. Let what is happening to him be your portion. When we have power, we think that we are gods. Look at Malami of yesterday, crying like a chicken beaten by the friend. Look at Malami, that didn't believe the rule of law, even as a senior advocate of Nigeria. He didn't obey court orders. Now look at him crying like a baby. My right, my right. Where is your right? That one should be put to prison to test, to drink from the same cup. Even though it is not right, but it is good for people to drink from the same chalice from which they fed. Look at him. Look at all the stealing that has been published. That is all they do in government. Once you raise your voice, put him down. You raise your voice, put him down. One day, and let me put it in local balance. One day, monkey will go market. You know, go return.
You have heard him. It is a very good one. And we always try to bring these things so that we do not forget the case of Mazen Nandikano. We must keep the memory of Mazen Nandikano fresh and alive. No matter where they hide him, no matter where they take him to, we will not allow the voice of Mazen Nandikano to be silenced. We will not allow the voice of Mazen Nandikano to be silenced. That is why it is important that every one of us must continue to speak. Every one of us must continue to add our voice. Mazen Nandikano have paid a very great sacrifice, and we'll make sure he's been heard. So let us go back to their conventional media again and hear this discussion on the situation at hand.
Let's explain the possibility of this being the missile or part of one of the missiles fired by the United States. They say it was precisely its target in Sokoto at the time. And then, if you look at this, coupled with the fact that another warhead was found in Sokoto some days back by some young men, something they played around with and took to their homes. At the end of the day, with defense intelligence from the DHQ saying, please, we beg you, return it to the nearest police station because it might be harmful to you. That's actually these happenings, the December 25, 2025 happening, and what we have seen, afterwards. Mazi,
Thank you very much. I think the citizens need to be sensitized about the American intervention in Nigeria, because we've not had it like this before.
When you say sensitized, what exactly?
Sensitized in the sense that they need to understand a whole lot of things. That when you see an object you don't touch, And then when you should also be ready to abide by instructions, because Nigerian government made us understand that they are working in tandem with the Americans. So if they are working in tandem with the Americans, it is very imperative that the government should be able to also let the people know what this is all about. You can recall that in Lagos, I think in 2001 or 2002, thereabout, when we had that bombs,
Yes.
in Lagos, about 20 to 21 years ago or thereabout, it was obvious that Nigerians did not understand what bomb is. And just like you said, people go about fiddling with it and all that. So there is need for Nigerian government to sensitize the Nigerian people, particularly those that are within the vulnerable areas, that you don't just, take an object and begin to fiddle with it. It can be very, very destructive. I think that is one thing the Nigerian government should do around for now, that it is obvious that the Americans have come to intervene.
Okay, Barrister Darlington, when that incident happened in Sokoto State, we were made to believe that it was in conjunction with the Nigerian military forces, and one would expect that such an in conjunction with the military forces, Nigeria, of course, will provide the boots on the ground. Because I don't think it will go well for the sovereignty of our nation if America provides boots on the ground. And then, if you talk about boots on the ground, shouldn't we have seen an immediate assessment of the strike site and then retrieval of whatever debris might have been left behind for Sokoto, as again what we are seeing happen much later? And then, could you possibly hazard a guess as to how this particular warhead might have found its way to Niger State?
Now, propaganda is in the offing now. With what has happened, these people who never wanted to give up the terrorists, they are going to use all manner of image to embarrass America. They will tell the whole world how America have planted IED. They will tell the whole world that the bomb the America brought to Nigeria is killing their people instead of the terrorists.
Exactly.
So
that is what they're doing. Say propaganda.
Because ask yourself, how did the bomb get to that place? Did America fire anything in Niger State?
Thank you.
Please tell me. Did America fire anything?
That is Nigerian propaganda. They will circulate it and share the bomb.
How did he get to that place? Did he walk on new select to Niger State? Did he walk? These are the issues here. Propaganda. This thing that they don't agree. They think that they are not. This thing is deliberate. How did the bomb?
Very deliberate.
Question. If you have a military that is very, very circumspect, a military that is very active, none of these things would have been hard. They would have mopped up everything after the bombing.
Sorry, sir, when you say propaganda at work, are you saying that no, what we are saying is not a bomb that found somewhere in Niger State? Or are you speaking to a possible complicity that you recall that after that incident, the Nigerian military told us that they had cordoned the place. And they sent pictures. I even saw pictures of Nigerian soldiers walking around that place. Is there a possibility, could there be some form of complicity that look, they took the bomb and now in the process of, because we recall too that Nigerian government said they were monitoring the movement of the terrorists. So if they were monitoring, could there be a complicity that this bomb found its way through some form of arrangement between Nigerian people, Nigerian government?
Exactly, that is what happened.
And the terrorists, and probably the one who is part of Nigeria.
If there is truth in what they told us, that bomb wouldn't have gotten to Niger State. If there is truth that they cordoned off the place, they would have not got everything there. Is that not true? They would have made sure that nothing leaves that particular spot.
And that's my question.
So
having what's up, and now we found this.
That's what I'm telling you. That's where the lie has been exposed. Because a bomb cannot work except to take it to one particular place. A bomb cannot work from Sokoto to Niger. Somebody made the movement now. So what happens?
And that's the question.
So the military should tell us. Because something is not something you pick on the road or whatever. So the thing is that by the time this thing starts exploding in people's house, they will not call America. They will tell the whole world, it is American people.
Yes.
Look at where it came from. It is American made. You know that kind of thing. By that time now, they will embarrass America and say, look at what they killed, they don't even pump the terror, they are pumping our people. How do you explain that? Or you think they don't know what they are doing? It's deliberate.
Right.
It's deliberate. That's what I'm saying here. There is no way that bomb can move from Sokoto to Niger State. It's not possible.
But Barrister, after that, the Sokoto bomb, we discovered that states that were another contributors to Sokoto State, talk about Zamfara, parts of them, that they were also affected. Is there a possibility that probably Niger State too?
Look at Niger, look at Sokoto. Look at Niger, look at Sokoto. Are they too close? No, please tell me, are they too close? This is where Nigerian people should not be deceived here. The Sokoto have an issue. The federal government of Nigeria never wanted this issue to stop. And so if somebody is coming here to stop it, they won't be happy. They feel embarrassed. Especially our Nigerian military, who have not done the need to over 15 years now. Over 15 years, Nigerian military couldn't stop this thing. And somebody is coming all the way from America, you think they'll be happy? No, tell me, you think they'll be happy? If you think they're happy, then go and read how the last chief of army was murdered. Who are these things? Is it not the military that carry out that operation? Tell me, I like the man who wanted to stop this thing. So how can I sit down here and clap for them that they are doing well? If they are doing well, America wouldn't have come here to help us.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Let's
go to Benin City, where we'll be joined by Mr. Chris Ojekere. Mr. Ojekere is the principal assessor. Good morning, Mr. Ojekere, and thanks for joining us. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you very well.
Beautiful. Good morning and happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you too, Chukuma and the others.
Okay, very well. Now, Chris, I'm sure you have followed this conversation. We are having issues here after the bomb incident in Sokoto State. The other day, like 2 days. Meanwhile, in parts of Sokoto State, we saw young boys, young men, fiddling with something that looks like a bomb. Apparently confirmed that it's a bomb. And we saw young men fiddling with it. And at that point, the authorities said, look, we need to do more to decide our people. And a few days after that, we now hear that it's far away Niger, away from Sokoto, we see another bomb. Something that looks like it anyway, and it's been confirmed by police authorities. So how do you explain, can you help us make sense of the fact that something happened in Sokoto State far away, and in Niger State, which is not even contiguous to Sokoto, and we have like 3 other states, before we get to Niger. How did it get there? Can you help us? As how they get,
In a bit, it's going to be a bit because this is by no means professional point of view. But I know for a fact that the bomb that was used in Sokoto, the Tomahawk, has a mechanism of self-operation. And if it's flying from a particular destination of launch to its target, it drops several things along the way, depending on the distance. I know from where it was launched to the Gulf of Guinea to Sokoto, about 1,000 kilometers. So as it's going, it's self-regulatory. It has a self-regulatory mechanism. And in the process, it uses some canisters and things that look like bombs and IEDs and all of that. When it has used it off, it drops it. You even found one in Kwara. They picked up something in Kwara, not just in Niger State. So it drops it. It refuels itself, it's able to go further. We have not been told specifically what this thing is, whether it's a bomb.
If I understand you clearly, Dr. Christopher, I beg your pardon, Christopher, you're saying that the bomb, when it was launched, had parts of it dropped before it got to its final destination.
It's not bomb. The Tomahawk itself is self-regulatory.
Okay.
If it's going on a very long journey, the mechanism it uses, there are some it burns off, and then it's
just like a rocket would. like a rocket. Those things it bombs off, it drops them. And then it reduces itself. That's how it is designed.
Right, now, would it be easy or would it be difficult to locate areas where it might have dropped off some parts of itself before getting to the final destination?
It will not have been difficult if it has a ground, like we said, if you have the military here putting their boots on the ground and they have their flight routes and they have their mapping, then we should leave that to experts who would have been on ground to know, such targets, because it's just a self-regulatory mechanism. So as I said earlier, they found a piece of canister also, not this big, in Kwara State. So what we don't know for now is that what we have in Nigeria, whether it's a bomb or one of those used canisters that dropped on its way to Sokoto. However, I do not completely discount the theory of the barrister, because these bombs seem to have been placed to be found, whether it's a bomb, I shouldn't call it a bomb, a canister, whatever it contains, seems to have been placed to be found. And if you watch the response, strategy of the entire story, somebody found it, told the local government chairman told the police. If the police were this responsive in other issues in Nigeria, then we could say it's normal. For me, this response mechanism and this serial analysis of how the bomb was found by a farmer through the local government chairman to the police is too smooth for me. So it doesn't look like something that was dropped to be found. And as the barrister said, if you have a government that is opposed to external help against terrorism, the government will want to discredit the work that was done by the Americans. That work must never and can never be discounted. We are hoping for more of such work. So whatever it is, the government needs to come out. They say they want to check and study it. I'm surprised that they have to take such a long time. They could have come to tell us when it's a bomb that was not detonated and whatever. But if it's ever that it's normal and natural that it happens, it must be one of those used, disposable canisters by the tomato. If not, we don't have the further explanation.
All right, then. Well, let's also go to Dr. Chukwunonso.
Well said, my brother.
From Doctor. We're basically just postulating here because we don't have, any military personnel to give us the actual fact as to how this might have found its way to Niger State. But what are your thoughts on all of this? And if it's some sort of propaganda, to what aim, if I may ask you?
Well, thank you very much. This development is quite a further embarrassment on our own part, because instead of handling this kind of information in a very sensitive manner, we are only trying to, continue to wash our destiny in the public. Because I see no reason why, as a country that is having this kind of challenges, we should be allowing this kind of information to fly around. And you will not be wrong to join those conspiracy theorists now that will want to align with the argument of the barrister in the studio, that these things are a way of setting things in motion to discredit the intervention that we are getting from the international community. Because over the years, we've been trying every means possible, domestically, internally, to try to address this issue, this security threat, security challenges, but we have not made considerable success. Then when this help is coming lately, we are now trying to create opportunities where we can now puncture into the intervention. So for me, I would say that we should keep our focus on, sustaining the effort, maintaining the tempo. Because yes, I'm no security expert to know what was discovered along the way. But somewhere along the line, I used to remember back then they tell you how some explosives were found long after the Nigerian Civil War, and the stories they now try to spin around after it. So, but in our own case, in this case, our military should continue, security forces should continue the acknowledged cooperation they are already having with the United States security authorities in trying to know or to confirm the source of this, either is a bomb or is a canister or whatever explosive device, whether active or engaged or dormant or deactivated, how they can follow up on this so that we don't have a repeat of something like this that can put the neighboring communities in harm's way and maintain the tempo of fighting this insurgent.
Okay. Now, Dr. Keshobi, talking about fighting the insurgents, talking about fighting terrorism, I don't know if you listen to the chief of the new minister of defense talking about Christopher Musa. He said in an interview, I think that was day before yesterday, he said anytime we're trying to, get success, somebody puts us back. Now he was chief of defense staff. He experienced all of that. He is now in the Ministry of Defense, more like supervising the army, police, intelligence, and all of that. And he's coming out to say, look, anytime we try to make somebody puts us back. Does it look like it's already becoming overwhelmed? Just months, 2 weeks, of being appointed Minister of Defense. A lot of people expected that with his experience as Chief of Defense Staff and now Minister of Finance will be able to, aggregate experience and now push people back, but it's now complete. So what do you think?
Challenges did not, like I said, did not start today. Even if he has been directly or indirectly involved in the counter-terrorism efforts so far, but this is the first time he is coming face to face with the policy side to see that yes, there is a different perspective or different dimension as to tackling security challenges from what you find in the field, in the battlefield, and what you find in the conference room and boardrooms. So maybe he's speaking from the benefit of hindsight that yes, that there are persons in place who they are stuck in trade to sabotage the security efforts of the government. Now it is left for him to now take it a step further and summon that courage, the political will we always talk about, in trying to identify who these persons are, where these threats are coming from, and trying to neutralize them. He is now in the position to give the order, to call the dots. So he couldn't succumb to that narrative of always, joining this,
complaining. This is where the problem is. This is where
the problem is. Now that he knows where the problem is, he will tackle it head on. Right. And as somebody who has the experience and the background, he should go ahead and do so. I'm sure Nigerians are tired of this continuous explanation and the narrative as to excuses. We should go ahead and give us results. Right. Just like
thank you very much.
Give us
thank you very much, Dr. Ekins. Thank you very much. Now let's come back to this video. I don't know if you listen to Christians and saying, look, anytime we try to make progress, something pulls us back.
I am not surprised that he's coming to give us excuses. I said it here. I remember the day this man was appointed. He said, do you know what pissed me off? He said he's going to put up a panel to investigate who gave the order to withdraw the military before the security agency kidnapped those guys. I said, are you serious? So such a thing is what you are going to set up a panel for. Abi? Something a phone call, 2 minutes phone call, can give you the name and the person, and you want to set up a panel. That was when I knew that they are not going to do anything. And I said it here. I said it. The day this topic was brought here. So more excuses are coming from him. Even the president who ordered those people to leave that, did he get answers? Nigeria, please, did he get answer? A world president of Nigeria, go and try it with Trump. Try it with Trump and see what will happen to you. So these people are not ready. I don't like coming people to deceive me. Look, I don't want it. Every day we discuss this thing. Meanwhile, we know the truth. Nobody wants to say it.
Nobody.
So why are we talking about it? Nobody wants want to play my intelligence and I am playing along. That means I'm a fool. How can you tell me that up to now nobody knows the solution to this problem? Meanwhile, the people that are controlling the livers of this country are walking about in government circles. In government circles. You are the type you are fighting. Allow them and put them where they belong, and this thing will end. Nobody wants to do that. Then what are you saying? Please, what are you saying? It's just that I have to do this. If not, I'll stop talking about this because Nigerian government has not told us what they are doing. Well, then what is the need? What have we not said? Tell me what you have not said. Tell me what you are doing. Talk in this matter, we follow Donald Trump method. It will have solved this problem. Talking is not, you don't talk in this
particular. Now, if you were not talking, you don't prefer this prescription. Now, you have given us a prescription. Now, let's come to I want to ask you, I know you have a prescription or even a lot. I want to ask, between policy and politics, where should we locate our problem? I ask that in the light of the fact that in policy, we had a chief of defense staff, who reported directly to the commander-in-chief, and we are looking for political will embedded in the military command, and we couldn't find policy. Now, in the politics, as Minister of Defense, he still complains. So, where should we look at our problem? It's politics.
You locate your problem in politics. Very unfortunately, when he was, appointed, people also complained, just like Parisa is saying, that there is qualitatively a different ballgame between operations and policy making. And some of us have been proved correct in that direction. I think what Musa should do is to get, you see, I don't know whether there is a monster in this whole presidency thing. When you get there, you begin to also prevaricate as where you don't say the way it is and all that, because there is an over, bearing influence of certain things and all that. This problem needs no, sugarcoating. And that is why I strongly believe in what America is doing. Because if left alone, Nigeria cannot take that vital decision to exterminate insecurity. That is my problem. The problem is located in politics. Until we have a leader that can eschew politics from insecurity, this problem will be solved in the next 2 weeks, 3, 4 weeks. Otherwise, we'll still, play along. Recall that after the American invasion, the tempo has died down because they are now finding ways to continue what they are doing. I think what America should do is to step up the tempo and then get these people subdued, and then we can now move forward. Left alone, the Nigerian elite, political elite, to my mind, does not seem to have what it takes to, stop this insecurity. A lot of things have happened, and then you continue to tell the people that want to help you that there is this, is that, you have hands-on knowledge of what is going on, and yet in your acts and utterance, you are not doing what you're supposed to do. So I think the problem can be located very well within the political structure of this country. That's my take.
All right, then. Well, if that be the case, it doesn't seem like it's something that we'll deal with. That's not anything soon, does it?
If we have the much touted political will, we can do.
Ask where can we buy this?
It's everywhere. It's everywhere. Just take a madman in quotes to get this thing done. A madman. Don't get a madman momentarily.
The president is not mad enough.
I do not think so.
The example of his attitude, in the midst of all this, will tell you what is going on. Where is he?
First, when the president when he came into office and he moved major CBN offices from Abuja to Lagos, and some individuals in the north complained. Some people, down south and down east were like, yes, this is what it takes to make laws. I mean, the president has also pushed for local government autonomy and some other things, and he seems to be getting his way. Why is that of dealing with insecurity different?
Because from the look of it, there is an agreement. They said it openly especially when this movement of offices happen. They not say that they have not been treated well, but this is not the agreement they had when they gave 60% food. Didn't you hear it? Didn't you hear it? So there was an agreement. And now, Tinubu is in a dilemma how to implement that agreement because of second term. That is what is going on here. Nothing else. Look at how he clearly excused himself out of Nigeria. In the midst of what is going on. Does this show you that this president is serious about ending this matter? Tell me. In the midst of what is going on, he just left. No talk, nothing. You know? And then, so, of all the time you have to go on, it has to be this time again. All because you don't want to make a statement and offend those that have an agreement with. I have asked you, are telling me the truth. Since people came into office, have you seen any time you made a statement directly to these people causing this problem? And call out their names because we know them. Have you seen any time he made a statement calling them based on security report that your nonsense must stop? You have had enough. I can't tell you know.
But when you say call them out directly, the president has been very, vocal in saying, chief of army staff, IGP of police, go after this. At a point, even asked the minister of state.
Who are those people? Who are those people?
So does he know them?
Who are those people? You don't know them, Abi. The country from the people have not told you who they are. The names of he doesn't know. When he went to Benue, he thought he had to tell you he's not part of that class. Okay. He don't know them now information.
And he asked, would these people have been arrested?
Who are the people? You see, nobody has got mentioning names.
The information available.
They don't call them. These people. Who are they?
That you don't even have it. All the issues, all the parameters that he has to take decisions are with him. The point is, how can he take this decision? Okay, you understand? He left for Europe. Where is Europe? Europe, a country. All right. Tell us exactly where Mr. President is at a particular point in time. And before they now came and told us where he went to back and all that. You see, they are not serious.
We are not seeing him.
They are not serious. The issue of insecurity is much more than, even when you put it on a scale, for me, it weighs more than the politics. Of course, if you don't have a country, you don't have politics. But they are joking with the whole situation.
All right. Now, we'll have to let Barrister go. And then I would like to ask Mr. Christopher Ojekiri this question, and Dr. Ikesebi can also respond to the same question. Does it seem like the commander-in-chief is not really the commander-in-chief in Nigeria? Because something as little as withdraw escorts from VIPs has not been implemented. Something as little as that has not been implemented. We still have disciplinary committees being set up. We still have, some looking out for those policemen that are still playing the role of escorts for VIPs and all of that. Is that a bigger problem in Nigeria beyond what we see and what we talk about? And how can we solve it? Is it a change in the leadership? Will that solve the problem? Or what exactly will solve the problem? Especially if you also consider the fact that countries like Saudi Arabia have dissociated themselves from certain individuals that have played a role in the insecurity going on in Nigeria. And names have been given to the governments of Nigeria, but nothing has been done. In fact, we've had the National Security Advisor, the office of the NSA, giving guns to bandits, giving weapons and vehicles for logistics to bandits, in the hope bandits will help protect the forest.
Imagine.
How confusing is that, really? And what is the bigger problem, and how can we solve it? That's my question.
What is clear is that our constitution still guarantees all the powers that are allocated to the office of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. He is the President, Head of State, and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces. But what is not clear, or what would have been unfortunate not to have, is that we have not had a
past 4 years. President Bola Tinubu was not to be commander-in-chief of the armed forces and head of state and president of Nigeria. His election was fraud. And because of that flaw and fraud, we have a president who is a fraud. That is what the Nigerian people know. The books may be saying differently. Now, if you are an unpopular president, you won't get the cooperation, the support of the people to be able to solve the problems in the land. Because you will need the cooperation of the citizens from all cadres and categories of citizens to get information, to get advice, counsel, and technical expertise, professional inputs, and so on and so forth, to deal with all problems of the land. So we must ensure that we go back to the electoral process. When Nigerians are allowing themselves to be manipulated, or bribed, or bought to produce the wrong president or the wrong leadership, this is what we get. There is no country that can solve its own problems if the people of the country are behind the president. So when you have a president who came in through a flawed and fraud, system, he'll be dealing with people who are fraud and flawed, and then they will give advice and they will give directions to satisfy that interest. You just heard the barrister say something about covenant. There are so many covenants made. I remember when he was campaigning, one of his closest aides, I think Adia had that or something, left him. And the reason why she left him, is that he went to the president to say, what is your policy on security? What is your plan and policy for the North? And the president said he has no policy on security. He was very plain to her. He said he doesn't have any plans and policy. If I go too much after these people, they might even remove me from office. I mean, it's a public news. So the president has no plans for all the things you are asking him to do, because he came there with an agenda. It's a category, cabal, and what we call them, interest. And it's just to serve that interest. And that interest goes beyond Nigeria. It goes as far as the international community. Why is the president bringing France, for instance, to come and take over our tax system? He's fulfilling an IMF, World Bank policy, whereby they bring those people they call taxes or tax officers beyond borders to come and take over your financial system. And they are getting remittance to pay for the debt that you owe, so that you continue to remain a debtor and continue to borrow from them, continue to service the debt. So we should investigate that. So the president himself is sending an interest. That interest is not the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And that is why issues that concern the Federal Republic of Nigeria, he doesn't know how to deal with them. Because those who are in well-intentioned, who should help him to deal with them, he's not at the same page with them. So that is the problem. So to answer your question directly, we should ensure that we get it right in 2027, because there's nothing we can do right now, and ensure that the person Nigerians vote for that will be president of Nigeria, so he can solve Nigerians' problem.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Christopher Ojekere. Well, let's get concluding thoughts from Dr. Chukwunum Kesobi, and then we'll wrap up this conversation. Doctor, please, if you have the question, go right ahead. React to it, and then give us your concluding thoughts as well.
I think my concluding thoughts on this will be this. We have seen instances where very strange, or will I say an overreaction on the part of the president and the president. For instance, when the issue that came up with the River State that made him all of a sudden, from nowhere, declare the state of emergency, when we've had, even worse situations in other states and the governors were left untouched. So if we could be that proactive, that forceful in the case of River, for instance, why can't we be that decisive as far as addressing security situation in the country is concerned? Look at that. If you can revisit that tweet by the United States President confirming the attack in Nigeria, he said, at my direction, as the commander-in-chief. You see, we need to start taking responsibility for certain things that are going on in this country. The president is the commander-in-chief, he is the minister of petroleum, If you look at these sectors that are directly under the command of the president, you see that there are still some lingering issues that needs to be addressed, and the buck stops at his table. So he needs to spare us most of this emergency consultation with the security chiefs and the rest, and begin and move straight into action. We are tired of all the noise, all the excuses, and get the security situation addressed. Whether there is an agreement between that is business.
The problem.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Chipinonso.
You have had it. We will continue to bring you this kind of discussions at all times for you to see the decay in Nigeria. The decay, it is so clear and so open. You can't even pretend about. Look at their discussion, how illegitimate Muhammad Tinubu is. The rottenness of the government, how they play their games, propaganda, lies, and blackmail everywhere. It is sad, but that is what you get.
Just watching the midday news right here on Voice of the People Television. We'll go straight to the analysis segment of the news. Joining us now to make sense of these stories and more. In the studio with us right now is Barrister Darlington Agomo. Barrister Darlington is a legal practitioner right here in Nigeria and also public and political affairs analyst and commentator. Barrister, a very good afternoon to you and welcome to the meeting.
Good afternoon, David, and Happy New Year.
Same to you, Barrister. It's good to have you on the meeting.
Yes.
All right, then. Also joining us virtually is Mr. Paulua Taiwo. Mr. Paulua is Executive Director of Africa Bridge Initiative and also political and public affairs analyst and commentator. Mr. Paulua Taiwo, once again, a very good afternoon to you and welcome to the Midday News.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good to be here today.
Thank you so very much for being here. Let me start off with you, Barrister. As it stands, questions are being raised and, of course, conversations are being raised as well over the interference of the FCC Minister, Minister Yeson Wike, with some political matters across Nigeria. As it stands, the coalition of northern groups has clearly come out to accuse the minister of meddling in affairs that, according to them, is against his jurisdiction. First off, what's your position with the fact that Wike presently is being accused of these kind of functions, of course, and not within his jurisdiction and powers?
When we started this is a political understanding, I knew he would end up like this because nothing will last forever. Besides, a man who is neither in PDP or APC, I don't need to be told how his story will end. Because at the end of the day, you'll be neither here nor there, and that's what's going on now. So Wike, whatever he's doing now is like a dying horse. You know, a drowning man who catches as a straw. Look at it yourself. Is there anybody Wike is not quarreling with me? All the APC member, PDP member, National Secretary Advisor, APC leadership. So,
Now, so on this part of his interference, there are questions that are being raised about federalism firewall. In other words, should Nigeria legislate a ministerial non-interference code with personal sanctions for this, particularly in the part of maybe travel bans, fines, and removal of office, should any minister go against his jurisdiction? Should this be something the Senate should legislate upon? Because this kind of interference and, of course, conversations surrounding this on Wike is not what his functions as the minister of the FCC.
Look, you don't need to legislate this type of matter. The thing is that Wike was being used, and he was not wise enough to realize it. Are you telling me that if Tinubu and APC did not give Wike the audacity to do what he did, will he try it? The answer is capital no. Now that they are finished with him, and Fubra has become the leader of APC in Rivers, I don't think Wike should be making us again. If he continues to be too rascality, if he continues to play this rough fight, EFCC will knock on his door. Because from what he's saying, he has already indicted himself. All the things he has been saying since yesterday and all that. The man gave a history of how he stole money, how he did it, where he did up, So he has confessed. It's just for the EFCC to pick him up and say, okay, you did all these things, and you are still making noise. So this feeling above the law, it will soon come to an end. Telling the APC he must choose the next governor of Rivers. Is it the owner of Rivers? If not for the support given to him by Abuja, will a Wike can even speak? Not to talk of insulting people in this manner. Is it not because of the cover and the protection given to him from Abuja? And so if they withdraw it, what will he do? No, tell me, what will Wike do? Nothing.
Okay. Well, interestingly, we have also joining us virtually, Mr. Paulua. Once again, thank you so very much for being here. Still on the same conversation, Mr. Paulua, what's your position about the fact that Minister Nyesom Wike seems to be having issues with almost everybody? And the same person a couple of years ago did say, when it comes to God federalism, it can never be found in Rivers State. How much of do what I say against not do what I do should Minister Nyesom Wike take into consideration whenever he's talking?
Right. For the Nigerian political space, especially talking about the pre-2027 general election cycle, the game is on from different political quarters. But one thing that is very clear from every political leader that we have, especially in this Fourth Republic, is that we have not been able to identify a structural ideology from any of the political leaders that we have as of today. And that is why we are having the challenge with the likes of Barrister Nyesom Wike. Is a legal practitioner, but his activity within the political space is not sounding like somebody who has a legal background. But beyond that, we must also understand that when you have no ideology politically, then everything can come out of your mouth. And everything will always go on well with you because you believe that everything can always be done with money. And that is why I always have that kind of ideology that a nation that celebrates materialism above humanity is going away. So that is why we're having this kind of conversation. If not, we are not supposed to be wasting energy on the lives of the current minister of FCT. Is a political figure without a political feather. Is a public office holder without any political party backing. And that means it's a toothless bulldog. The only thing he has now is money to waste around to the media, calling media chat every month. But that is not politics. Politics is not paid on the pages of newspaper. There's so many political juggernauts in Nigeria who are not on the pages of newspaper. So if it takes, you want to play its own politics on the pages of newspaper, well, it should continue. Like Barrister Dality said, only time will tell for him to understand that truly the gods are not to be blamed. But that is if the gods knows their onions. So if they don't know their onions, I'm afraid the gods might be blamed this time around.
Oh, well, that's another conversation that we should be having sometime soon. But I want to stay with you, Mr. Paulua, particularly in the fact that the Coalition for United Political Parties clearly has described as a national disgrace and proof of the federal government's failure to protect citizens. The recent massacre of defenseless citizens in the Sonwandaji community of Niger State by, of course, suspected bandits because you would recall no fewer than 42 persons were killed in that particular incident in that Suwad community. What do you make of these kind of conversation about the fact that the presidency clearly did say that they have on-hand reports on their part and they are carefully looking at the situation, and of course the perpetrators will be brought to book? That's of course according to the federal government. What's your position with these kind of statements that are not laced with actions and results like Nigerians would see as it stands presently? Mr. Paulo.
All right, so, the security challenge of Nigeria is very peculiar. The security apparatus and the architects of Nigeria is porous as of today. We have a gallant officers, both Air Force, Nigerian Army, and the Navy. We have gallant men who are capable of beating these bandits. But the question is, do we have the political will? Do we have enough intelligence to destroy the bandits? Another conversation we should be having is that, do we have enough missile to waste like that of America? So these are some of the conversations that will guide our activity, especially from the presidency. I was one of the people that do not blame the problem of Nigeria on Jonathan administration. The same way I will not blame the security challenge today of Nigeria on President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Now, the question is, where are the traditional rulers in each of the states of Nigeria?
But some persons would beg to differ, Mr. Paulo, because he is the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. And that clearly is a position no man in Nigeria has, except him.
Commander-in-chief of the armed forces does not necessarily mean that you can command at any point in time. There's a command.
Well, Mr. Paulo, maybe you're trying to be correct by half, because the commander-in-chief has every right to do anything when it comes to the military apparatus of Nigeria.
He has every right,
yes,
but that right cannot be activated at every point in time.
What do you mean it cannot be activated? How do you mean?
It cannot be activated all the time. It can be activated anytime, but it cannot be activated all the time. Now, clearly, don't forget the issue of genocide. When Obasanjo came on board, he was able to level some areas in Bayelsa. You and I were crying foul of genocide. Now, Buhari came in. After Buhari, Tinubu came in. If you want to level the entire Niger State, if you want to level the entire Sokoto, you can see what happened recently from USA. That is another conversation. Now, one thing you must understand is that whatever is happening in my local government, as of today, I will be untruthful to claim it on
want to level. You are talking about going against terrorists. You are talking about you want to level. Why would you level Niger State? Going against terrorists, is it leveling Niger State? Going against terrorists, is it leveling a state?
And they have enough equipment. The question is, am I giving them the right information? Then another conversation is that who is in charge of every state? Where is the conversation of the state governors? I'm sure the next question you'll be asking me has to do with state police. But before we get to state policing, who is securing each of the local governments in every area in Nigeria? We have 774 local government areas in Nigeria. Who is securing each of those local governments? The answer is not presidency. The answer is not Asorok. If each of the local governments are ready for security to be settled in their area, the solution will come out. Because if I'm to be in Asorok and I'm to command my troops from Niger to come over to Lagos. Before they leave Niger to come down to Lagos to secure Lagos, what do you think would have happened to my citizens in Lagos?
Mr. Palua, before we go further, before I come to Barris, I'm going to ask a very direct question, and I need maybe 1-2 sentences for your answer. When the presidency declared a state of emergency in Rivers State, was there a major mayhem? And do you think he had intelligence to have declared a state of emergency in Rivers State?
And he has exercised that rights.
Thank you so very much. I think you've answered it. Let me come back to this. I'm going to come back to this. Barrister, I heard you shaking your head, and of course, the body language was quite different from what was going on. Same question. What's your position?
My position is that we should not be trying to pamper Tinubu in whatever shape or form.
Tell him, idiot, defending nonsense.
That he prepared for the job. Is that not true? He is the commander-in-chief, and the purpose was his devil. He swore on oath to protect Nigeria. So any Nigerian who thinks that he will not blame Tinubu for his security, that person is not sincere. That is the major thing he swore to do. That is the major job. Not talking like Donald Trump is reacting. Your citizens are your greatest asset. Nobody should tamper with them. That is the truth. Everywhere in the world, your citizen is the first, your first asset, the greatest asset you have, so you must protect them. If you cannot do that, you have failed. Don't make no mistake about it. Do you know when I know that Tinubu has failed? It was one Sheikh Tanshi threatening the Tinubu's wife, direct threat to him that the woman should be killed because she's a Christian. She's a dead. Tinubu did not even open his mouth and utter a word. He didn't call for that man's arrest. A president. A president. You can't even try that with me. I will call you to go and show me the God that says you kill my wife first. Me and you will battle it. You will tell me what my wife did. Not to talk of a president, and you are telling me, please, let nobody say this. They are trying to pamper you.
On that part,
and that is not fair to us.
On that part, Barrister, the part of the wife, don't you think the president also was just trying to be a bit understanding, not to even overreact based on what was said?
What are you talking about? You know that if Tinubu had reacted, in fact, if that man had been prosecuted and jailed, others will learn a lesson.
Now, talking about prosecution,
that is the important thing to do. I don't get the example with president outside here. Donald Trump said that Maduro was producing drugs, and the drugs are heading to US, and they are affecting his people. Did you hear the allegation? I hear terrorists are walking into Nigeria. They are even threatening your authority, telling you what to do in your own country. Some of them took over part of Benue and Plateau, and they are there now. They are there. Your own people are in IDP camp. Please, I don't want to...
Now, Barrister, talking about prosecution, arrest, I'm going to talk about the arrest for justice gap, because this is a bit concerning. And of course, you're a lawyer. Of all suspected arrests and individuals for mass killing in 2024, how many do you think have reached the charges and trial convictions so far? Because as it stands, we're not seeing anyone go public about it.
David, the federal government of Nigeria is not serious about this insecurity. If they are, Donald Trump wouldn't have come into Nigeria. In fact, this is the worst of it all. That the foreign country is coming here to help you protect yourself with the David. Do you know what is shame? Brother, do you know what is embarrassing? Imagine if APC were in opposition and this type of thing happened.
But the federal government also said they had a coordinated efforts in that particular strike.
Whatever they are telling me now, they are talking to themselves. They should have done the needful before Donald Trump will come here. If they have done the needful, Donald Trump will not come. It is because of the sentiment they brought into this matter. This is insecurity. No tribalism, no ethnicity, no religion should come in. But the federal government of Nigeria is afraid of some people. Nobody even want to call their name out. Nobody wants to mention their name. What the hell? Are they the owner of Nigeria? Instead of people to be very frontal and deal with them, you are pampering them. Meanwhile, other countries are laughing at us, just of Africa.
Oh, well, but let me take this conversation back to Mr. Polua Taiwo. Again, I want to find out from you, Mr. Polua, how from, if you're going to rate this administration when it comes to the security situation that has bedeviled us as a nation, how would you rate the federal government as led by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on security?
Administration in Nigeria, as at the last, as at the 2023, early 2024, I was one of the people that spoke directly to the presidency, that the presidency is not serious about the security challenge of Nigeria. And I was very clear about it. But moreover, towards the middle of 2024, now 2025, we have seen different actions that shows that the president has the power to do more. Like you have said earlier, he has the power to do more. And he has seen that his job is at risk, especially towards the second term, because it is only those who are alive that can vote for him. So I'm sure maybe that is why we have seen some strategic move. And don't also forget that as an international law student, I also understand that there is no sovereignty break without any form of collaboration, both internally and externally. So whatever you think, the almighty action that has been activated by Donald Trump still has some internal collaboration. Because if the president or whoever is working with him or security architect are not collaborating with whatever is coming from external, then the whole Ulabalu will still continue. But before that, we must also understand that what transpired before my administration, what transpired in the last two administrations, and what is happening in my current administration. We need to weigh in between the two, because it is very easy for me to speak out of Aso, but it is not easy for you to speak when you are in Aso. So the conversation is not the same. You can say that the president has all the power. Yes, I've told you, I know he has all the power. But that you have all the power does not mean that you use the power all the time. There are two things entirely. Because if I'm bringing out a particular architect for Borno State, don't forget, I cannot bring that same architect into Nasarawa State or Yobe State. Why? The territorial gap within those 2 or 3 states are not the same. So whoever is saying that whatever armor I'm bringing out for Niger, I should bring out the same armor for Sokoto State, that person is not sincere Nigeria.
All right,
that person is just trying to be political.
I still want to stay with you really on the security situation, because Nigerians will also want to know better. And of course, as I speak to you, some will be saying that you're trying to speak some truth by their own judgment. But let me find out from you. Are you aware that a former spokesperson, a former assistant to the Minister of Defense for State, has accused him of sponsoring, and not only sponsoring, doing deals with these bandits? Are you aware of that?
He's not aware. Don't mind that.
Even though it's alleged.
That's what? I'm aware that what?
That a former
he will deny it.
To the governor, the former
the name of
governor,
supporting
who is presently the Minister of Defense for State, I'm talking about Matawali now, has accused him of sponsoring and promoting these bandits while he was in office.
That is a very good statement, but I leave it to be a political statement.
Imagine.
Why was that statement not made when he first got to the office or when he was still the former governor?
Imagine.
You know, you can't be listening to political statement at the wrong time, trying to save your head because you want to be bold. Why don't you come out to be bold when it was the state governor for us to understand what is happening? Okay. Now, let me tell you, are you aware that Honorable Patrick Obayakon, towards the 2011 and the rest, he stated clearly that he was speaking against President Jonathan administration. And while he was speaking live, I quote him live on NTA. Immediately he finished speaking, he got a call from the presidency. One of the close aides to Mr. President offered him 11 million naira that he should continue on the national television to speak against Jonathan. These same people that are working with him. So there's somebody speaking like this against a former minister or a former governor. For me, it's not acceptable. It's a political statement. Where were you when the person was in office? But don't also forget. I think don't also forget as well. Now, don't also forget that there is no security challenge in Nigeria of political actors.
Are you also aware? Sorry, Mr. Konrad, are you also aware that the same person we're talking about, I'm talking about Matawali now, has said to the state governor, who is his predecessor, that no security movement would happen in that state without his input. I'm talking about the executive governor of the state being told by his former boss. Are you aware of that as well?
No, you are just answering the question by yourself. He said by his former boss. Yeah. So he has the power, being a political godfather, to speak to his political son.
Imagine.
So he's speaking to his political son, but he's not speaking to the entire Nigeria. So he's not left for the political.
You see how fake these people are.
And acts against his political godfather.
Let's bring this conversation to the studio.
Godfatherism. This is their monarchical system in Yoruba land. That is what he wants to impose to
I'm trying not to assume some of the things he said, but he has clearly spoken his position. I want to move away from this conversation, maybe in 30 seconds. I want you to react to the same conversation of Matawale still being in office after being allegedly accused by his own.
David, without looking at it from any angle, what is fueling this insecurity is what? Sentiment. Either religious, party, ethnic, or tribal sentiment.
Simple.
If this is a remove out of the equation, we'll find this in headlong.
Yoruba man will always support his brother.
Something else, nothing. Because from the way we are talking and the way we are looking at this thing, we are looking at it from the angle that it suits us, our person, you know, our person, and Nigeria is sinking. Imagine what will happen with the allegation against Matawali. You don't need to ask him to go. You don't need to ask him to leave office. At least let us verify what they are talking about. But because Matawali is in their good book, there is something he's doing for them, just like we can. Just like we can, they are using them for certain purposes. Meanwhile, if it's to the detriment of Nigeria, you can see it.
Well, because my time really right now, we need to go. I just want you maybe 30 seconds. The position of the National Association of Resident Doctors claiming that the industrial action forthcoming, the planned one, is inevitable because government is clearly not talking.
You have heard Nigeria, when we say the zoo will never survive. What you just listened to now is a typical example of why zoo cannot survive. I hope you were following up when that man was defending his brother. He's definitely a Yoruba man. A Yoruba man refused to accept the truth, refused to speak the truth simply because he wants to favor his brother. That is why Nigeria cannot survive. Let everybody go their separate ways and build their own nation. These are the same people that are still pushing the narrative today. Igbo Muslim community, Fulani Christian community. That doesn't exist anywhere. Some of them go and pretend to be Igbo and they come online and claim to be Igbo Muslims. It is a shame. But that their lie will never fly. Nigeria is corrupt. It's a corrupt nation built on falsehood, continue to live in falsehood. And anybody that thinks that he's going to survive in that falsehood, you are wasting your time. The end has come. I thank you all for listening on this program. Thank you for your patience, for those who are patient enough to be with us at this time. I appreciate all of you and see you tomorrow morning. Join us in our morning program tomorrow, where we will continue to make our expositions and say things the way it is. May Chukwu Okikabiam continue to guide and protect every one of you. Thank you so much for being with us and stay blessed. Bye-bye, everybody.
Every time Nigeria is ringing bell. If I look on news, it is bell. If I look social media, it is problem. When I should be drinking coffee, they will make me to come online. They don't want to have me to rest. But you know what? You know what? The spirit in me, the Biafra spirit in me, I said, when I told you, if Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is looking for 100 people, I promise that I have 50 in me. You have not seen anything. It is not by my power. It is not by my power. It is not by my power. But, you know, as my own oru, I am a you understand? You will be a but